Early morning. Monday morning, guys.
Flexi Friday.
Motivational Monday.
Flexi Friday is gone.
Movement Monday. Everything Monday.
But it is now Flexi Monday.
It's every day you flex, not just on
Does that
Fridays.
even make sense? That doesn't sound as cool though.
Flexi Mondays?
Monday.
Does not.
It's not the same as Flexi Friday, but
Yeah, it is.
pretty
Be
neat.
out here.
Either way.
5:30 a.m. Normally wouldn't be at the gym, but we had a little competition. Not a little, pretty big.
Pretty big.
Kind of big, medium. Our first competition, and
Yeah, there you go.
it was fun. It was
CrossFit
good.
competition.
Super. It was surprising. We took first and
Took first
men's
in our-
intermediate. It was super. We were stoked about it. Yeah, 4 different events, and it was good.
Hard work pays off.
Gave it our best, a shot, 100%, and paid off in the end. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of people came out, and
So taking a few days
a lot of
off.
supporters and sponsors, and just a fun time. Good experience. So yeah, took yesterday off, kind of just relax, and today probably just
So freaking
do
sore.
some movement, some body weight stuff maybe, but
Maybe stretch.
got the work clothes on.
Probably all
Get
good
after it.
stretch.
Yeah, lower back, it's a
Yeah.
little bit tight
A little
today.
tight.
Yesterday,
Tight.
It's gonna be for a while.
Freaking
So
tight.
anyway, let's get right into it. Our topic for this weekend is on
Flex-
fear.
That's neat.
Fear is neat.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Fear. It's a big one. It's a big
Big-
topic.
big
It's
topic. Hot
uh,
topic.
a hot topic.
Yeah.
Topic train.
Like the store. Like the store in the mall. Actually, seriously, I was always scared of that store when I was. Speaking of fear.
Like the mall.
Yeah,
Stranger
hot
Things.
topic. Well,
Oh, hot topic.
Yeah.
It's
still
like
always
all dark.
creepy.
Like how people like.
It's creepy. Maybe
Like,
that's where, when I was a kid, fear started from there. Hot topic.
Hot topic.
But then when I got older, I started buying earrings, you know, so, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Still
I think
weird
everyone
store.
in there
I don't like that
once.
store. Really?
Black Friday. I might have.
Huh.
Anyway,
It's kind of weird.
fear. It's a real thing. Something that we all deal with, I believe, at some level, at some point in our life.
Yep.
And so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get real. We're gonna get
Honorable.
honest, open up, and if you guys
I'm
got
going to give you some truth.
things you want to share and open up as well, we'll love
This
to hear
isn't
from you
even,
guys.
some of this isn't going to be even Darrell and Caleb's opinion. It's going to be truth from the word
Yeah.
of God. Get wrecked.
Sweet. So, what is fear?
Definition of fear.
Fear. There's this
Give it to 'em.
acronym that I've heard from an artist called Manifest, super rad guy. He has this acronym called,
It's like a deja vu, right?
it's fear is a definition of false evidence appearing real. So it's an idea that fear, when you think about it, it's not really anything based upon facts, right? It's just something you imagine in your mind, in your brain, that could be a possibility, could be something.
Could happen.
It could happen. It could be something real. Like, so for one example, if you're, so you're afraid of the dark, or you're afraid of an alley or something, or going downtown or streets or whatever. What is that? Yeah, a clown. You're afraid of a clown, right? You never had an experience with an actual real life clown that maybe scared you, but you've seen movies, you've seen videos or whatever, so you have that imagination in your mind planted, and so when you go out in the dark or in a dark alley, you're like, oh, there could be a clown around that corner, right?
To eat my face off.
So it's not based upon facts. It's not something that's an actual threat at that moment. It's just a possibility. It's an imagination in your mind that is telling you, hey, there could be danger here in this moment. So that's kind of what fear is, I believe, at kind of
Yeah.
the surface level, or just kind of the definition. But it's also a real thing. It's also something
Yeah.
that we feel in ourselves, and there's also like real life fear that is actual, based upon
It's healthy fear. Because you
based
think
upon
of,
actual evidence.
you think of winter time, you think of snowy roads. You know what snowy roads can do. They cause accidents a lot of times. So it creates a healthy fear in your mind to be alert. In that way, it's good.
Oh yeah.
In that way, it's good. But still, You have a fear of crashing, but you've never, even if you have crashed before, you don't know you're going to crash that time. So you're creating this fear that isn't fact or it's something that's for sure going to happen. It's something that could happen.
Yeah.
Or might happen. So even with the clown thing, could happen. There's been clowns before that have done the things that horror films. It might happen, but it hasn't yet happened. So you're creating fear is this thing that gets created from facts, like you said, that aren't true.
Yeah.
It could be memories that have happened in the past. That's legit, and I think that's one of the things that probably create fear the most is because people have memories of, oh, this happened last time. This happened before. I don't want to get in a relationship again. I have a lot of fear because last time I was in a relationship, this happened. And it ruined my life.
Yeah.
So now there's fear there.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Our brains and minds are a crazy thing that you think you kind of forgot about something, and something like an instance or a fear or something like that will just bring that memory up, and sometimes you have to keep dealing with it and give it to the Lord. And for both of us, we're both believers in Christ, and
so anything we say is going to be
a lot of it's going to be
pretty
based
biblical
upon
stance.
just what the Lord says in the Word, and going back to Him for our identity in Him, and that our just confidence can be in Him and not in just our surroundings, our fear in life.
Praise God, start ourselves.
Yeah. So yeah. What else we want to?
The other thing I was gonna say is more of the science behind fear of not necessarily the fear of like being scared type thing.
Yeah, scared.
I did some research and listened to some different podcasts and was checking into it some. It was fascinating because fear has become this thing to where it becomes this like pain release. So if people are having a hard time, if they have family problems, if they have relationship problems, if there's so much stress at work or there's so much going on, they'll go to haunted houses and watch horror films because it scares them, and they no longer think. It takes their mind off of everything else that's going on. They no longer have to think about those things because they're focused on being scared. Like almost like an adrenaline rush, but different.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's like, I mean, you see it as like, I mean, it's not drugs or alcohol where it makes you forget the pain, but in a sense, it makes you forget the pain because you're being so scared by something else. You're forgetting all the pain that's back there.
Right.
And fear eventually will cripple you.
Yeah.
If you don't, because everybody's gonna have fear for the rest of their life.
Right.
You're gonna have fear. It's something. We shared some of our fears on Friday. For me, it's like finances. I don't even remember what the other ones were. It's 5:30 in the morning right now. But finances, providing for my family, finances. I have fear of getting injured, so I can't provide for my family, which comes back to finances, really, when you think about it. Scared of bats.
Yep.
Actually, I freaking hate bats.
Yep.
Anyway, those things. And so it's like, if I don't lean into the Lord in His Word, like, it could cripple me, just like any sort of fear you have.
Right. And that's just like, it's all a matter, like you said, we all have fear.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if you're gonna have fear or not. Like it's a bad thing or a good thing. Like we all gonna have fear. It's just a common thing in human life. But it's the bigger thing is your response to that fear and how you handle it. Do you let that fear, that discomfort, anxiety, like cripple you, like you were saying, and just let that cripple you into a stagnant state of mind where you just don't do anything. You don't step out in faith or trust the next relationship or the next job or whatever it is, you don't want to trust again because you are afraid that it's going to fail you again, it's going to let you down, whatever it is, that situation, it's not going to work out, whatever it is. Or are you going to trust it and step out in faith and trust the Lord and know that He's going to provide for you, know that He has your best interest in mind? And it leads me to one of the other quotes and thoughts I had on this topic is this quote from Max Lucado. I heard this, I got this from a book a while ago, and he says, "A great act of faith is always planted by a seed of fear." So I think about just an example with my story moving out here from from the East Coast, from here to Montana. Like that was a big move. That was a big step, big choice. Like, I mean, obviously I knew Calvin Hanna. I didn't really know anybody else. I didn't really know, as far as the job-wise, what was gonna turn out. I mean, I was single, so I didn't really have a family to like think about and provide for. But it was still like,
Still big
it
deal.
was still a big choice. I mean, it was culture-wise, it was different. It's gonna be a new place to live, new church family, new job, all that kind of stuff.
New everything.
And so, but there again, it's your response to that maybe unknown or anxiety or fear, whatever, a doubt, whatever creeps in, is your response to it. I need to just go to the Lord, ask Him for direction, and if I feel, and that's the other thing too, is like, there might not be a right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my biggest fears is like, of stepping out and making a big life choice and afraid that it might be the wrong choice, or afraid that it just, maybe I made a mistake or I messed up, and being afraid of that. And it's like, hey, maybe if I go in a certain direction and it's not the right choice, the Lord's gonna work it out. Like, I can't mess up His plan, right? I can't mess up what He has in plan, in store for each of our lives. Like, He's God, like He's sovereign, He's got it worked out, and so I just have to trust Him, put my faith in Him that He has my best interests for me, because He's a perfect dad.
Yeah.
Like, He doesn't, He's perfect. None of us are perfect, and so that's that thing is like, I think a lot of times when we just step out in faith and trust the Lord, like that fear is slowly just more goes away, and the more times you do that, the more times you step out in uncomfortable situations, like public speaking, for example. That's another one of my biggest fears. Is I hate public speaking.
Yeah.
I hate just whatever it is, talking in front of people or leading something that I'm not confident in. But the more often you do that, the more often you face those discomfort situations or fears, like it becomes easier and easier. Just like working out, just like anything in life. The more often you do something,
we're species of repetition.
Yeah, the more often you do something, the better you get with it, and the easier it is to face that hard situation next time. So, that's...
Do you think, going back to, you said you had fear of making the wrong choice, do you think that's a fear, if it comes back to like a fear of letting people down, or letting God down? What do you think that?
Probably letting people down.
I fear of making the wrong decision because I have fear of letting people down, type thing.
Yeah,
I think. Is it really, or is it just like making the wrong choice?
I think well, see, that goes back to a little bit of like my other biggest fear growing up was like fear of what other people thought of me.
Mm.
And so I think that might play into it as well, is that like I want people to respect me or think highly of me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's human nature. We're selfish human beings, and so that's just like one of my struggles, is that I want people to think highly of me.
Right.
And so if I make a wrong wrong choice, then that's one of my fears. Is like, people are gonna not think highly of me, and they're gonna like, look what he did. Like, he just messed up or whatever, and
Yep.
moved to Montana, and now he has no life and no job, or just like
Yeah,
bashing.
wish he does it. He totally has a life and a job.
Yeah. Thank to the Lord. I mean,
Hallelujah.
but so yeah, I mean, it's crazy how a lot of things connect. I think in life and life experiences, and it's just something you have to keep working through and facing, and just like public speaking, like I don't like it, but it's also one of the things that I try to push myself into, whether it's even just on social media, like having my face on Instagram or whatever like that, and just putting myself out there, whether it's a group fitness class or something like that, and because I know it's my weakness, so I want to grow in that weakness, and the more often I do it, the more easier it is to say yes to do the things that I'm not comfortable with.
Which is like we were talking about earlier, is do you let that fear cripple you, or do you let it fuel you to grow and overcome those fears?
Yeah.
And also, you have to understand that there's two different types of fear. There's the fear of man, and the fear of making your own decisions, and the fear of providing for your family and not trusting the Lord, because you have that type of fear is like the reason that fear is there is because you have misplaced your faith. Right. The other type of fear is when you're watching a horror film and it scares you, or you're afraid of the dark. Those are two different types of fear. And I think you have to understand those and be able to articulate which one's happening when, because they'll help you overcome them. Yeah. But in the same way, if you're scared of horror films and you watch horror films every night for the next 2 months, probably not going to be scared of horror films after a while. I'm not saying you should do that, because I think horror films are stupid.
Yeah.
But in the same way, but in that same way, it's not going to work the same way if you are afraid of public speaking. Well, I guess it would. It probably would be the same.
Yeah, because the more you do it,
more you do public speaking, the less you'd be afraid of it. I guess I'm thinking more of like providing for a family. The more you do it, does it really make you less afraid? That's like more of like you just gotta trust the Lord.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't really go away with just like providing for your family.
Yeah. Even with public speaking, like I don't think the more I do it, like I don't think I'll ever not be afraid, but the decision or the choice to do it won't be as hard. I don't think. The thing about now is like it's easier for me to make a choice to do public. Like before, I would just like, no way. Like I'd just be like, just no way I'm gonna do that. But now it's like, it depends what the situation is. I'll do it. I'm freaked out in my mind the day of or the hour of, I'll do it. But the decision beforehand, when someone asks me or whatever, like that becomes easier. I don't shy away from it as much, because I'm like, no, this is something I need to work on. So I just say yes, and then I leave the freak out moment.
Right.
To deal with it.
Yeah. Deal with that as it comes. Because I think it just causes you to grow.
Yeah. It's like, think about just signing up for like a Spartan race or a marathon. Like, the choice, you just sign up, and then you're like, oh frick, I gotta start training. And like, or else I'm gonna like die, on this run.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
And so that's human. We
Nah, bro.
Yeah. So we just gotta train for it and practice and get better. So.
Come as it may.
So just a Bible verse I want to share with you guys. One of my favorite verses in the Bible that goes along with fear is 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, "For God did not give you the spirit of fear, or did not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power and love and a sound mind," or self-control.
That's good.
Either definition there. So it's fact that fear is not from God. That's not His design. So He's given us the power to overcome that. He's given us the spirit of love to, because there again, First John 1, 2, and 3. Perfect love casts out fear.
Yep.
So when you have that perfect love from the Lord, whether it's just unconditional love for one another in your relationships or whatever it is for God, like you don't have that fear. It just constantly pushes out that fear.
Yep.
When you have that relationship with the Father, like fear slowly just gets pushed out.
Right.
When love comes in, and then self-control is that, you can be, you can have control of your mind, control of your action and your body and your attitudes, by the grace of God, and not be controlled by fear, not be controlled
Yep.
by just being anxious or stressed out in life,
Yep.
and stressed out, from other people or your job or whatever it is, because you're rooted in the Word. Your identity is in Christ.
Yep.
And so.
That's good. Yeah, you gotta understand. We gotta understand. And it's like a daily reminding of ourselves, because we forget. We're people that forget all the time. Just look at like Israel in the Bible forgot on a daily of God's goodness, and we do too. We gotta remind ourselves, like, fear is not from God, like not
Right.
even close. So anytime the Lord asks you to do something, you have fear, like don't at all like think for a second that it might be the Lord, and maybe He's like a way of telling you not to do something.
Right.
That no, like fear is from Satan, and he's trying to ruin your life.
Yeah.
And like then that's the basis of it. Like Satan wants to ruin your life, and the Lord literally wants the best for your life.
Right.
It's not always what you think is the best for your life, but it's literally the best for your life.
Yep.
Like it's and Ralph hit on it earlier. Like the Lord is sovereign, and we're not trying to get into like a theological debate necessarily, but like I am convinced the best way to combat fear is understanding the Lord's sovereignty. If you understand that the Lord is sovereign in all things and that His plan cannot be ruined, like that just brings an overwhelming peace.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah.
So if you're scared of the dark, man, the Lord's sovereign. So like He has it all in control. Nothing's gonna ruin His plan.
Right.
Go outside in the dark,
Yep.
If the Lord's asking you to move Montana, oh man, it's really scary. The Lord's sovereign. He's calling me out there. He has it all under control. His best interest is out for me. Like, come on, bro.
Yep.
Like, so good. So if you're fearing, like,
Yeah.
jumping into a relationship, if you're fearing that new job, if you're fearing, I don't know, whatever it is, fill in the blank, providing for your family, making decisions, starting new stuff, getting into a small groups, going to church, whatever it is you're fearing, like, as simple as it is to say, yeah, just trust the Lord, sometimes simplicity is really the answer.
Yeah. Just a step, just step out, and one little thing. It's not just one big moment of like, oh yes, now, boom, I'm like trusting the Lord, faith, like
Hell no.
no fear. It's just a little bit, just one little step,
A little
in
step
the right
every
direction
day.
of growth, and that's all the Lord asks us to do. One step of obedience, tells us to do this, just trust Him.
Nothing comes
Yeah.
overnight.
And,
Nothing comes overnight.
So yeah.
Super cheesy church verse. I think it's all context all the time. Romans 8:28, I think it is. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. And as simple as that is, it's still true. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, like God wants, and why did good things happen? Like, that's not the conversation we're having right now. Why did good things happen? Bad things happen to good people.
Right.
that conversation. If you want to know that, we'll let you know. But it says, and we know that for those who love God, so if you love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to His purpose. So for those who He called and that love Him, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Sure, family member might die. You might lose your job. Who knows? And those things are terrible. But just because we don't think they're good doesn't mean they're not good, because our feelings screw up how the Lord actually works.
Yeah, it's true.
Screw your feelings. Trust the Lord.
Thanks.
There it is.
Harsh. I like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need the little kick in the pants and sense of valid truth.
But like you said, feelings are real, and don't, you gotta listen to them and work through them. I think
Right.
that's what causes us to grow. But don't let them ruin your life.
Right.
Don't
I
let
think
your
the feelings
cripple you.
can show us where our true belief is. There's this other
That's good.
there's this other acronym that I've
What
gotten in
acronyms?
the past.
Use an acronym,
Is
man.
BAFB, and it stands for belief, attitudes, feelings, and behavior. So it's this idea that everything kind of stems from the root of belief. So if you're having a certain behavior and you realize that and you're like, why am I acting this way? And it can go back to your feelings. 'Cause your feelings contribute to your actions and how you do a certain thing, your behavior. And then from your feelings, it goes back to your attitude towards life, towards a situation, towards work, or just your attitude of life in general, will affect your feelings and how you feel about that, and again, will affect your behavior and how you act.
Yeah.
And then from your attitude towards life is, what is your belief about life? What is life? Why are we here? Like that big old, question. And so if you can go back and trace it, it can be actually helpful if we know how to do it in the right way of discovering how we feel and how we're behaving and our attitude, and then get it to that root question of why. Why do I believe? Is it the right belief? Is it the wrong belief? Do I have a false belief? Just about life, about work, about relationships, about men, about women, whatever it is. Like, we need to go back to our belief system and check it with the Word of God, and go to Him in prayer and be like, God, do I have a false belief here about whatever it is you're dealing with, and let that affect your attitudes, feelings, and actions. So
Well, Jesus changes everything.
it really does, honestly.
Get wrecked by the gospel.
Honestly does. And I feel like we lose that as time goes on, especially like, I've grown up in a Christian family all my life,
Yeah.
and I've had times in my 20s where I've just had moments where I just broke down and had to give things to the Lord, and I feel like so often we kind of lose that newness or fresh like idea of grace. Like,
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Like, it's so good how, and God in His mercy just like saves us each and every day.
Yep.
And so, like you said before, we just forget that.
Yep.
And we just forget that. And it's like we take so much for granted, and we're just like, oh yeah, God and His grace. Like, it's a given thing, right? But and we lose that. We got to keep reminding ourselves. So thankful to the Lord each and every day, just to wake up and have a job and have health and not have an injury, or
Right.
be able to have a car and
Grace.
coffee in the morning and food on the table and all that stuff.
Especially when you compare it to like what we actually deserve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the gospel, it's like, man, we deserve hell and separation from God, but instead here we are, drinking coffee, making a video for Instagram.
Yeah.
Like jobs, we have families.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of like this kind of rabbit trail, but mentioned like growing up in a Christian home, and if you didn't grow in a Christian home, like one's not better than another.
Right.
Like, it's still grace.
Oh yeah.
Because we're all on the same playing field. So if we all deserve, every person in planet Earth deserves hell and separation from God. Doesn't matter if you grew up in a Christian home or not. It's still grace that saves you, mercy from God. Nothing of our own doing, but everything by His doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyway, that's totally random.
That's good.
Rabbit trail from fear,
Solid word.
but kind of in the same way. But yeah, it's kind of our
Yeah.
what we got for fear. The other thing I was gonna say is make sure you talk about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever your fears are, if you get some gnarly fears in there, if you got fears of having a family or stepping into a relationship, starting a new job, moving, whatever it is, you gotta talk about those with somebody.
Yeah.
It's gonna help. Gonna help big time. And you have people. You need people around you that's gonna encourage you and help you speak truth. If they're gonna implant seeds of fear, you don't want those people around you. But you want people that are trustworthy and they're gonna help you and that are for your best interest.
Yeah.
So, and we're open. If shoot us a DM, if you want to, let us know some of your fears. We won't share any of that kind of stuff. That's all private stuff. We don't share any of that stuff. But we want to open ourselves available for that.
Yeah.
Let us know how we can be praying for you.
Yeah. Put yourself in a group. Our church is just talking about small groups right now.
Yep.
And it's so important. I mean, we were built for relationship. We need each other. You can't do life in isolation. And so, I mean, just so many things in life. I mean, that video of like, what was it? Chess and checkers. Like, I forget all the other stuff they had on that video. But like, you can't do
life by yourself.
You can't do life by yourself. You need each other to point out, blind spots in your life, to point out different things
and
to
kick
help
you in the
work
butt
through
sometimes.
things.
Literally, sometimes.
So,
at least I do. A lot of times I just need to be like, hey, you have fear of this? You just stop and go do it.
yeah,
And I'm encouraging you today, if you have fear of something, stop.
yeah,
Literally stop. Say a quick prayer to the Lord, whatever, and change your mindset. And go do whatever you have fear of.
yeah. Just do it.
Now, I'm not saying, like, I have fear of, like, cliff jumping from 100 feet. Oh, they said to go, no. Like, be stupid.
Right. Yeah. And I think we know, like, if you have the feeling deep inside and you're like, I kind of know this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid, like, we know.
We know you know.
We just gotta do it.
We know you know that you know that we know that you know.
Yeah, what he said. So yeah, like you said, just do it. Just step out in faith.
Easier said than
Try
done.
it. Like, try it. And
we're preaching to ourselves here. This is on us.
if you fail, you fail. It doesn't mean you're a failure. That's the other thing, is that just because you lose or fail in something, that's what happens. You learn from those mistakes. If you never swing a bat, you're never going to hit the ball. So why not swing the bat? You miss, at least you tried. Swing again, you miss. Hey, you tried.
Hit the ball
Swing again, you're going to hit it at some point. You're going to learn those pitches. You're going to learn how the bats are coming, what angle they're coming, and you're going to hit a home run.
Boom. That's a good analogy. I like that.
There you go.
We love you guys.
Have a blessed week. Get on it. Stay flexy.
Stay flexy.
Get in the gym. Make movement. Go for a
Swole.
run.
Yeah.
Do a Spartan race. Get muddy. Get dirty. And, love life. Any last words?
Nope. That's it, yo.
Flexy, guys.
Flexi.
Love you.
Love you guys. Peace out.